we interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you this live broadcast.
Welcome, everybody. We are live from the Quasette of Cannes Lions 2026.
And the entire global media and marketing industry has descended on this one strip of beautiful coastline.
But this year, we're doing something a little different.
Yep.
We'll be cruising along the Quasette in our podcast van, picking up leaders from across the industry.
And we're getting their unfiltered, in-the-moment takes on Cannes.
That's right. This is Commerce Media Matters, Cannes Lions edition.
Let's go!
Welcome to our final episode from Cannes Lions.
We're almost there. Over the past few days, we've spoken with founders, retailers, agencies, publishers, and technology leaders from across the global commerce media ecosystem.
To finish the series, we're joined by Jess Gilby, General Manager of Digital, and Lou Barrett, Managing Director of Client Partnerships at Corp Australia, McKinsey partner Anna Checa, and Nick Titmus, VP of Commerce and Retail Media Partnerships at SeenThis.
Let's finish strong. Welcome to Commerce Media
Welcome
Matters.
to the show.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited.
Hey, we are
aren't
in
Jess?
privileged company here with the master of Cannes, right? How many cans have you been?
I reckon this is, I think I've been coming to Cannes for about 18 years, but I think this is probably about my 12th.
Yeah.
So there were some breaks in between.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Amazing.
When I was at 10,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
way.
Because rumour is it that you haven't done Cannes properly until you've done Cannes with Lou Barrett.
Is that right?
That's what everyone
God.
says.
I mean, I think I can confirm those movements because I think I've been a couple of times with you. So, yeah.
Well, Jess and I went into a couple of things today and we kind of were a bit shocked.
Tell us, share. What did you experience?
Well, we just thought they weren't great.
Right,
Like they
okay.
were just
Interesting.
I'm not going to say who
No,
it
you
is.
don't need to say
because
that.
it's probably not
Yeah.
politically very
Yeah.
good. You know, I think the standouts for me are things, I think Wall Street Journal House, as far as the content goes,
Yep.
It's always exceptional.
exceptional. I
Yep.
think the other one, you know, Tubi, I think is doing it really, really well as well.
A couple of our guests have shouted out about the Tubi stuff and the creative stuff that they had. They had some great creators down there. There's some great, insightful stuff at Tubi.
Yeah.
Exact my favourite, Maura Higgins.
Right.
I don't know
And
whether
she
it-
is a
Does
babe.
anyone know Maura
Is she?
Higgins?
I
'Cause
don't
I'm
know who she
obsessed
is.
with her.
Yeah.
I've
Hot.
dragged these guys.
Hot.
Thanks, Jess.
Very
She
hot.
is the
Just let me make a
hottest
note. Was
thing
that
you've ever seen.
Moira?
Yep.
Higgins?
And she's just gorgeous. She's
Yeah.
got the body to die for.
Yeah.
But she's done collaborations with Elf.
Right.
Yeah.
So Elf
right.
Beauty.
Yep.
And what they've done is seize these cultural moments, particularly when Maura Higgins was in Traitors. So you know the show Traitors?
Yep.
She was in
Yep.
Traitors.
Yep.
She's one of the big talent in Traitors. She originally came around from Love Island. I
Yeah,
think.
right.
Love
okay.
Island in the UK is a lot different to I think what it is in
Yeah.
Australia. But she is the hottest thing. She's got like 4.3 million followers, and Elf Beauty did this collaboration with her, but they
Right.
jumped on a cultural moment
Yep.
out of Traitors, and it just resonated.
got
And they
going
know
places.
their community
It's a
really
very
well.
powerful, far-reaching sector, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I
we were
think-
just talking about it. We were saying that the influencers really arrived. Like they've been here in Cannes for a long time, but they're now on front beach. They're now front and centre.
100%. It's the first time that, you know, Cafe Roma,
I
which was
know.
a bit of an institution
Yeah.
for us all to go there, has been taken over by the Formula One and CAA, which is obviously
Exactly.
an influencer agency. So we're seeing the rise and rise of the influencers. It's interesting because Cannes over the years, you know, once upon a time, and Lachlan was saying this a few years ago, but once upon a time, it was all the big creative agencies. That's what it was set up for. You'd
That's
see
what it
the
was, isn't it?
agencies,
Well,
then
they-
the media agencies hit the beaches.
They all
You-
came to get in that place there, the Palais.
Totally. And then you had the rise and rise of the
Yeah.
platforms, of course. And now
We had
you've got
retail
the-
media last year, maybe.
That's
and,
yeah, totally.
Yep.
And now you've got retail media still there, of course, but
Yeah.
now you've got the influencers as well.
As well. Listen, we had Evan Shapiro on, and he was singing the praises of Fox Group around some of and News Corp in general around their smart acquisitions, saying that out of the trad media, I think he called
it
that
trad, yep.
Lachlan seems to be the darling, and he
I called him
probably-
a sexy trad wife, the new trad wife.
trad wife, and so
I love it.
You know, you mentioned Tubi House. They're doing some really cool stuff. The acquisition of Roku. It seems like news and traditional media are having its moment.
Evan was all over it. He knew more about the whaler, and he knew about this. He knew everything what was going on with News Corp.
Yeah, I think that Roku, I mean, we were talking about this the other day, Jess, weren't we, about how strategic that purchase was.
Very.
If it gets through, because I think it's still got a few, hurdles
Yep.
to go through. I think Donald Trump's got to give it
right.
the tick of approval.
Mhm.
I don't, and we're
Who knows what he'll do?
Yeah.
well, you don't know at the
No.
moment, right? Because he's actually suing the Wall Street Journal
Yeah,
at the
right.
moment. So
Yeah.
you just,
He's going to do a deal.
I don't know.
Part of the
But
deal.
anyway, that is, I
Yeah.
mean, that's going to open up Latin America for
And also what Raven said was really interesting. I
Fox.
can't remember if you can remember the percentages, but there's a percentage of Netflix streaming that goes through Roku.
no, Netflix, Apple,
Yeah, it all
and
goes.
Disney.
Yeah, yep.
Massive.
Yep.
It's so smart.
Yeah.
It's so smart. Evan couldn't.
It was
He was
also the
blown away by it.
demographics. He said he was talking
Yeah, it was really
about
smart.
the big streaming groups have the older demographic, the 50 plus, but Roku, because of its price point and how it's come along, has a different demographic already, complementary to the Fox group already. So he probably had some comments to say about other nepo babies that weren't doing it as well as Lachlan. Jess, was there any other great sessions?
And
that you've
Jess, this
been
is your
to?
first time
Just
in
under
Cannes,
virgin, as they say.
so we can hear it all fresh from you today.
Yeah, fresh. We've really been impressed by Elf. We saw them
Yep.
at Tubi, and that was the integrated marketing CMO, and he was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
What made it even better was seeing the CEO today, and he was very impressive.
At Journal House.
Yep,
At
of
Journal
course.
House.
Mm-hmm.
They don't call them customers, they call them a community. They don't see it as brand and performance. It's brand and relevance that drives the performance outcome. He trusts his team. He rewards his team. They've given $300 million worth of equity to their staff.
Wow.
all their stuff.
All their staff.
Getting
Wow.
And, you've seen actually a few talks that have referenced the employee, like behind the scenes, and the biggest loyalists or advocates for your brand are actually your employees, if you can get the strategy right and get them advocating for your brand. So I think Elf Beauty is an exceptional brand, really tapped in, understands culture, understands relevance. It was great to see both of them.
It sounds to me, I'll just jot this down here, there is a clear from the top down of how we're going to approach this,
Correct.
right?
Complete clarity.
Exactly. Right from the top all the way through.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what an incredible use case.
Mhm.
I mean, look at what they've just done. So they've just spent, paid $1 billion. I mean, I think he said, what did he say, 600 million in
In
cash
cash.
and 200 million in shares. They've just bought Road.
Right.
And
Oh,
Road-
I didn't know that.
Road,
Smart.
Road is
Really
like
smart.
the fastest
Yeah.
growing beauty brand in the world, bar
Yep.
none. And it's going to exceed everything you've ever
Yes,
seen
it's
before.
strewn across my ensuite at home. I've
And-
seen it, not personally, but I know it's there.
Oh, it's
And
all
the
through my
thing
handbag.
is, they've only got 10 products.
Yeah.
Is that
10
really?
products.
That's it.
I mean, they come in different colours. and
Yeah,
things, but
yeah.
They've got like 10 products. I think they were talking about maybe 12, going to 12 or...
She does 12
Wow.
rounds of product review, design, and redo every single product.
Is that right? Have they only got 10 products?
I think they've expanded now to 15, but
Okay.
it's
There you
around
go.
there.
Or they just get that
singular
one, they
product
get it right.
mindset, absolute perfection, then launch.
And Hayley is very, 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 very
Yeah.
involved. In fact, she's an absolute perfectionist.
And
I
you
would
talk
say.
about community, they've got people waiting outside of their stores for 14 hours. It's like when the iPhone was cool
they've
and
only
you'd
got
line up
12
outside of an
products.
Optus or a Telstra. And
It's funny you say that. I happened to be in London when they were having a launch in one of the things, and I was like, "What is this line for?" And they're like, "Well, Hayley's rumored to be here, and it's her launch." I couldn't believe the line. So it was
Well, when
amazing.
they launched
Wow.
in Mecca in Australia, it went ballistic.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
she
They'd
chose
never
Mecca,
seen
didn't
anything
she?
she
like it.
chose
Instead of
Mecca.
Sephora.
She chose Mecca in
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
You know what was also quite interesting? So the global CMO of Estee Lauder this morning, she was talking about how she sees things, and she's like, marketing, creativity, and commerce are all one thing to me.
Oh, we like you bringing it back to
Ooh.
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Don't
the
worry.
consummate
Don't
professional
worry.
here.
No brief,
Nice,
but I know
nice.
the tone.
Very nice.
And so Lou and I were talking as we were walking to lunch, and we said, that's the way you have to think, not as isolated streams, but as something that's completely connected.
Absolutely.
And so why I liked the guy from Elf is he was an integrated marketing CMO, and there needs to be more of them because everything's thought about of silos, channels, etc. We were talking on our way to lunch, and we thought it's all about storytelling, media, and commerce for us. That's our role, you know. And if we can connect
Smart.
that, reduce the friction. She spoke a lot about if there is friction, the customer, the community, they will leave. They will not engage.
Yeah, well,
That's
we
fascinating.
believe in removing friction from the process at Vudoo. One of the things we're hearing a lot of from some of the other people we've had a podcast with is around the future of traditional publishers, and the theme seems to be a flight back to quality journalism.
Yeah. Very,
Well,
very
that's
prominent.
because of AI, right?
and
I mean-
and the trust factor, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And I think Wall Street Journal is doing it doing it really well. you know, who you guys are close to this. What do you see your role in that? There's some great content producers out there. There's the influencers, but what do you see the role for traditional media houses?
Think trusted brands, right?
Yeah.
So that is why we're launching Glamour.
Mm-hmm.
So Glamour's a trusted brand globally.
Yep.
And that is why we're bringing it to Australia. There'd be no point in going out and just launching any old brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to resonate
have
with the
resonance.
LLMs.
Yep.
It's a trusted brand. And I think
Yeah.
we'll do really well. So we're having a look at other brands potentially
Yeah.
of what might exist out there, maybe in the Condé stable,
Yep.
that we could bring to life
Yep.
in
Gotcha.
Australia as
Gotcha.
well.
When's Glamour launching? Is that but not far away?
It's actually launching, Awena's launching it socially in the coming weeks.
Oh, right.
Amazing.
But it's actually hard launching in August, I think. Isn't it August,
Yep.
September?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, great categories it attracts too, right? You know, we're just talking about some of the categories.
Mastige.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
our launch partner, Maya, have seen that, right? They've
Yeah.
jumped on board and gone, okay, we'll own beauty and we'll own it
Yep.
exclusively.
Yep.
And they saw the benefit in that.
Yeah.
So it's great to launch a new brand with an incredible partner like Maya.
Yeah. And one of the other things that we're hearing a lot of is around the video. We were just talking about it before we jumped into the van. We're talking about video and the flight to, I guess, vertical video. I know that you guys were a big supporter. I was there where we launched the vertical video. It's your vertical video offering. Are you seeing big growth there? We're seeing it from the content perspective, not so much the ad perspective. But what are
From
you
a
seeing?
content perspective, we are. I'm not so sure in the ad space. I think when we went into it, Paul, you recognised that there was an opportunity very early on in the piece, right? So we knew we had to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that vertical video is still very socially led.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I actually think that we have to publish everything vertically. I
Yeah.
just do. I think that's the way it's got to be.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the role of a premium publisher with the platforms? Because I see something that I was really vocal on a few of these podcasts this week is the relationship with the consumer. And again, what you said, Lou, the brand. You guys have got incredible brands, right? And they resonate. So does the publisher's brand and the stable of brands so strong with consumers like News Corp has, they have the strength to go across any platform and be a content producer, a content creator themselves.
Yeah.
You know, Wall Street Journal has an incredible brand. Glamour's incredible. That doesn't matter what the platform, this is my own opinion, it doesn't matter how it's delivered because the brand itself is trusted. And so you can play such a strong, is that the plan? Is that what you guys are doing already? I'm for our listeners, can you unpack that a bit more?
Do you want to chat, Jess? I
The-
feel like I've been hogging the microphone here.
You
Never,
can hog. You
never.
hog. You are the
Oracle.
can oracle. So I would say brands are the original influencers, right? And what we're seeing is there's more demand than ever for our IP because it represents trust, and it's not necessarily IP just in online environments.
it's a great way of
how do
saying
you
it.
take it into other channels, in-store experiences? So, you know, we've been working with Coles and Tasters as a partnership. It's a food partnership, for those that don't know, supermarket, one of the biggest in Australia. And the Taste partnership had been, you know, it had probably been more of a comms vehicle for online biggest recipe inspiration site. And now we're starting to re-emerge as the conversation of how do we take that IP in store? How do we use it in our out-of-home activations so that it represents and signifies that there's this other trust multiplier that can come through with the brand? And that's really important.
Which is, again, what Maya saw with Glamour.
Totally.
Gotcha.
Because they'll be able to
Gotcha.
take that
That's a
brand,
really good link.
use it in store. I mean, the other
So they're
thing too is-
leveraging your brand's trust.
Correct.
I was just going to say, do you not think that the journos are the original influencers? I mean, you got
100%.
Totally.
one of the best pieces I've seen is the Daily Telegraph crime reporting.
Mark Murray.
Who literally
Josh Hanrahan and Mark Murray.
Josh, young guy, Mark
Yeah.
Murray, been around for a while. You know, he's telling you the truth about crime because you feel like he actually knows the crime families.
So,
And that authenticity
Yeah.
shines through in his reporting. And now they're doing it in vertical video and
this
other
is
formats.
not new, guys, right? So I had a long stint in radio,
Mhm.
15 years in talk radio.
Yeah.
And guess who our talent was? Ex-journalists of News Corp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Wow.
Ex-journalists of News Corp were great talent. They lived in our sport environment. You know, they lived on air regularly, you know, putting actually hosting shows, but also
Yeah.
that's where Paul Murray came from.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean? Who's on Sky.
Yeah.
He
This
was
could be a
ex-radio
really big
journalist.
opportunity for News Corp to actually elevate those journos
We
and to
think so.
match creators who are independently coming out to market. You guys have got a stable of them.
I mean, Ben English has just started doing vertical video
saw,
himself
yeah.
on a daily basis
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Shout out to Ben.
Yeah. Shout out to Ben. He's incredible. But he started
Yeah.
doing that. This is what we're seeing today. This is what's happening
The
in the daily
breaking
tele-
news piece.
Yeah,
and it
that's
feels
right.
like you're there as
Yeah.
it's
And
happening.
having
Absolutely.
your editor tell you that,
Yeah.
it's
powerful.
It's powerful.
Yeah. And like we said, this theme that others have brought up around this flight back to quality, because, the truth and authenticity of an actual journo, the crafting that they've put into it, it's true. It's coming from a trusted source. It's important.
But it overlays with that other thing that we're mentioning at the start, which is about that authenticity of the employee rather than it being a corporate piece. It's the authenticity. It's Ben, not Ben from not the Daily Telegraph. It's Ben in his own environment telling that story as well. That I think then becomes the amplifier of that.
Okay, you mentioned a couple of sessions. Have you got any more key sessions that you're hanging out to, or is there anyone that you really want to try and catch before you head off?
I wanted to go. I missed today. I caught kind of the back end of the Marriott guy because I think it's really interesting.
We've been
what
talking about Marriott quite a bit.
What Marriott have
Very
done
interesting. You should say that.
with
Yep.
their little retail media thing.
What
because
did you take away from that?
I think I didn't hear enough about it,
Okay.
but I think that they've jumped into a sector that I think there's a massive opportunity.
I think so
And
too. I won't shut up about
No
it.
one's doing it.
Mid journey, start of trip.
Yeah.
It's just so much opportunity.
Yeah,
I
but
also like how they've partnered with others, so with United or Connected
Yes.
Media
Yep,
Group,
correct.
and so they're
Yep.
complementary, and that works really nicely together.
Yeah, and they
Yes,
need premium content. They need premium content
Yep.
dropped into those start of journey, mid journey, end of trip to relate back to products.
And I think this is the other thing is a lot of these retail media guys have gone it alone,
Yep.
and a lot of them don't have the scale.
Yep. I mean,
So
your
I think-
Walmarts do, and your Amazons obviously,
That's
but
right.
that next
so
tier
do
down.
Coles and Woolies, but the next tier down don't.
That's
No.
exactly
And
what
they've
Paul
tried
says
to-
too.
And they've tried to go it alone,
Yeah.
and nothing's selling. Like they're not.
Yeah.
They just don't have the scale
Yep.
to go it alone.
to that
so
point,
I think there's an opportunity to bring a whole bunch.
You
of
are
them together.
nailing what has been a narrative
Back
this
end.
week already, and we're here on Wednesday in Cannes, and that is that there was a lot of the retail and commerce media networks went out hard 4 or 5 years ago, and they took any product they could, any platform, they gave over the reins, said, "Yep, just go it, and we can do it."
I think
And
they
even
thought-
with
I think they
AI
thought
in
it
the
was
last
gonna
12
be
months,
as easy as just slapping
Yeah.
that on a piece.
now
of-
there's been
yeah,
a
it's not
sharp
that easy.
realization that okay, maybe that product's not great. We need to maybe go to a different way of doing this, and also we can't do all this ourselves.
We need to partner with the
partnerships.
experts.
And
I
we
mean,
know
shout
there's
out-
been some really interesting conversations. Sorry, Paul, about partnerships, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Partnerships are really. That's exactly what you're saying, Lou.
Yeah.
We'll shout out to our friends Medium Rare, which is part of your group, in that, I think some of these retail media are realizing that creating the actual content that's
Yeah.
going to engage a consumer, that a retailer isn't that great at doing great content that's going to engage. So
That's-
shout out to Mike
You know what?
Conahan and that
That's
group.
right.
And I
Because
think,
the
yeah.
medium rare guys do it so well.
And
don't
I
they,
think
Raj?
it's
So does Suddenly, by the way.
It's so polished. It's so on point. And I think the opportunity for News Corp, and what even from speaking to some retailers, I'd say in the last couple of hours for me, and I won't say who, but they're saying we're going to lean into becoming creators ourselves, brand creators. We need to create content for our brands in the retail media space. Now, they can't go it alone.
No.
So how are they going to do it? And so if they can actually lean on trusted brands or trusted partners like News Corp with Suddenly
Well,
or Medium Rare.
there's a lot of people leaning into news at the moment around the advocacy piece, around providing or helping them with community impact,
Telling the
Gotcha.
story.
right?
Right.
Telling their story
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they don't know how to do it themselves and they need us to help them.
And sometimes
And-
they can't do it
Yep.
themselves. It needs to come from a trusted source, because talking about yourself comes across totally different to being reported in the media. Yeah.
Look at what we
Yeah.
did with Back Australia last year. That's become a phenomenon.
Yeah.
That's something that we'll run every single year now.
Yeah, right.
Because it just resonated for those brands so well. It was a moment in time when people are going, hey, I love Australia. I
Yeah.
actually want to buy Australian
Australian made,
products.
yeah.
And it's not going to be that big a difference in my weekly spend
Yeah.
if I just choose some Australian product or
Yep.
just go with an Australian provider.
Yeah. And I think it's also the scale that you can do when you do a big advocacy piece, when you get, paid media working with owned media, when you can go multi-channel, because there's just so many messages out there that, when you do one of those big campaigns and you do it well.
Yep.
We've
know-
got some big campaigns coming up, big things
Exciting.
around
Can you give us any hints?
Well, I won't tell you who the clients are, but we've got, things coming up around being scammed. We've got things coming up around the housing crisis. We've got all sorts of clients that are leaning in because they see an opportunity and we're the partner of choice to help them.
Yeah, amazing.
So their business model relates to that particular area of interest for the community, and you guys are telling the community story and allowing them a vehicle to do it authentically. Yeah.
Authentically.
Yeah.
Have you always, so in the new school, they'll be seen as like creator branded content in a way, but you guys have always done this really well?
Yes, but what I'm seeing is it's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah.
More
important
to them, more prevalent. Yeah. That's why more of them are leaning in now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, gotcha.
It's like, I don't know, it's just the rise of
communications.
The rise of AI and large language models has created this, and and they want someone who can just give them that credibility.
40% of Americans use AI, 2% trust it.
Yep.
Yeah. So McKinsey.
That's a Gallup. That's a Gallup number. Yeah. It's a hot off the press Gallup number. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and there's no trust.
Yeah. A really interesting point I was going to make before, and you, Paul, you're very familiar with Edwina McCann, who's prestige publisher.
Mm-hmm.
But she was saying to me the other day, don't ever think the print's dead. Do you know who the greatest purchaser of Vogue magazines are at the moment? 14-year-old girls.
Yeah, wow.
The printed Vogue.
You're kidding me.
The printed Vogue magazine is resonating with 14-year-old girls in that age group because it's new to them, and they're going, "Oh, wow, this is so cool."
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
right, of course,
screens,
exactly.
So she goes, "They're buying Vogue magazine.
They're collecting them in Mecca bags."
Well, I think it's interesting if you look at just the news business in general. It was newspapers, and the stories was told on that surface, and then radio was going to come along and ruin newspapers, and it didn't. And it was
television was going to come.
And we know, and you probably have more experience than I with your radio background, but they use the newspaper to report the news in the morning on the radio.
Yeah.
The newspaper set the agenda for talk radio.
It always has. Oh. I was in my second home with my family and I, second home in Noosa, as we always are at Christmas, or just before that. And we were news agents, and I was with my 8-year-old son, who's now obsessed with cars. And we walked past the stand, and he's like, "What are that? What are these? Are these books? Are these free?" Yeah. He didn't know what they were. Yeah. And I saw it, and he goes, "What's this?" And he picked up Just Cars.
Yeah.
He picked up this, and he's like, he opened it up. He's like, "Holy shit, look what's in here, Dad." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, look, it's so..." And I took a photo of him on the couch. He was enthralled for the rest of the holiday.
Well, so it was magazines, it was newsprint, and then it was the internet was going to crush.
That's right.
And you guys reinvented yourselves again, and then there's AI. And I think the thing is that your authenticity and ability to tell stories, like we're talking about with the campaigns that you were just talking about, it's not going anywhere. You guys are the best at it.
And Robert Thompson, our global CEO, talks about us being an input company. Right?
I'm glad you brought that up.
That's a good segue.
Company, not an output company. Yeah. We're an input company.
Yeah.
So it's the platforms of the output companies. Do you know what I mean? So that's a really important role for us to play.
Yeah. Well, I think it's an inspired strategic move that he's been able to, or News has been able to negotiate deals with such a couple of the big LLMs, because it basically says that they've used your content to train their algorithms.
Yep.
So,
and what we're hearing is the publishers that got in early and did those deals are now locked, and the other publishers that were laggards are now knocking on the doors, and those AIs are saying,
well, that's
we
what
don't
having
really
a
need
very
to.
smart global CEO does.
Correct.
And they're saying no.
Robert saw the opportunity.
Yeah.
Well in advance.
Yep.
Well, to me, it's really interesting because they've set the precedent that yes, we used your content to train our models.
Yeah.
So there's no backtrack for them now.
No.
That's pretty cool.
That's
place
pretty
to be,
cool.
right?
It's very, very smart.
Yeah.
You got them in like 2 goes, right? You got the money, and then you got the admission.
I think what we also have then is the learnings, right? So we know how much we need to republish, updates, all of the learnings that we then get from the API. We lower our CPU usage because it's done through an API rather than callers and indexing. So there's a lot of ancillary benefits that happen. There's the learnings and insight. There's the reduction of cost, which is also important, because a lot of people have jumped into AI and all of a sudden they're getting the shockwave of all of the costs that come with it. No one realized how much energy was going to come with it. And everyone's getting really big shocks when they're going, we're building our infrastructure
That's
here.
a really clever point.
And all of this is costing us a fortune.
Yep.
So it's about the other benefits as well.
Yeah, ancillary benefits. That's a great call out.
I
Yep.
think also, and Jess, you can talk to this one because it's your brainchild, but a lot of the clients out there that we're talking to at the moment are just going, oh my God, how do we navigate this AI era? And how do we publish for LLMs? And can you help us? They're coming to us for help.
They're coming to you.
So
Jess
has got this amazing presentation. It's called The Prompt. And we've already presented to a number of clients. Oh, you could talk to it, Jess. But they're just going, help us. This is great. We want that. How can you help us?
Yeah, right.
So you might want to talk to.
So
what
shout
the
out to
prompt is
Mike
all
Cook
about.
because he deserves it. Amazing
very clever man.
genius,
Yeah,
brainchild.
very
May have
smart.
worked with him in the past.
And couple that with, my hopeful ability to see where there's revenue and commercial opportunity was the important part. And, as a publisher, a lot of them, including us, when the LLMs came out, you're like, fuck, or we're nervous, what are we
Maybe
going to
take
do?
that piece out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't worry.
No, we love it. We love it.
Evan Shapiro broke the mic with swear words.
I've been being very good. Not
Yeah,
swearing.
you're very good. Sorry, I'm
Swear
still
away.
This is not a PG-rated show. It's
This is
okay.
not a family show.
Yeah.
Paul's
And-
looking at me like, yes, I know. Normally, fucking be every word.
And so a lot of publishers are going, what are we going to do? They're going on defense. And instead we go, let's go on offense. Let's share the learnings, turn it into an advisory playbook because, we've got the full suite. We can have medium rare or suddenly do the owned content strategy that needs to adapt. And then we've got, our paid publisher learnings that can help brands and support tell their stories that they can't because they don't have the trust. So what we've developed is an advisory playbook. It has 5 key learnings that no matter what industry you are in, they will be applicable with some nuances.
Yeah.
The one that I think the stat that started this all though is at the time 51%, but it's now 57% of all web traffic is non-human.
Yeah,
That's a
incredible,
pretty
isn't it?
scary stat when you first look at it.
Yeah.
But I see it as an opportunity because it goes, how do I produce a piece of content once that serves 2 masters? So we call it dual publishing. And you go, how do I create amazing human-centric design, JavaScript, interactive widgets, toggles? The bots can't read it.
Yeah.
And so then you've got to get on the other side, your story's still told, but in metadata and structured chunking in the way that you publish your content.
So the machines can read it.
So the machines can read it. And so if you do that, but in one experience, it's exactly what we were talking about before, and it just goes in a different way. How are you creating something once that's seamless, but now for bots and machines? And so that's a really big part of the strategy.
Yep.
Come see the prompt if you want to know any more.
Oh, yeah, I'm there. I'm sold.
It's actually inspired because we have been talking to a couple of our guests. Some of them are trying to solve measurement and attribution of content in the AI space. And Jess, another shout out to you because where they think that it's heading is a cost per citation model. And the first person I ever heard say that's the model that it should go to is actually Jess.
I know, because he came running out of the office. Oh, Jess, just all.
And again, news media and News Corp, it's that trusted piece where not all citations are going to be created equal because you got open web UGC citing something versus News Corp that are triple checked with, a news style journalistic approach. Those things are going to carry much more weight. So this prompt thing sounds amazing for clients.
Yeah.
Come check it out.
you have
Come
to
check
come.
it out.
Yeah.
Come check it
I've
out.
just given Jess the go ahead to get a bigger space.
We're at capacity.
We're at capacity where we are.
So what's happening? So
Tell us about
9th of July.
9th of July, New South Wales. Come for breakfast.
Yep.
Beautiful breakfast. We've had to open up a different room because we're at capacity.
Yeah.
And it's all heads of marketing and CMOs that are coming.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a paid owned or earned problem. This is how are you structuring your website? What is your brand? We're going back to fundamentals. Like a lot of the undercurrent of this week so date is
exactly
the brilliant basics.
It is about brilliant basics done really well, and then an AI layer over the top to make it more efficient. That's the way it should be going.
You've been listening to these podcasts all week. You've done some amazing homework. I know you haven't because I know you've been flat
because
out.
we've been out.
We've been flat out.
Well, that's the greatest part about that when there's a couple of data points that are saying the same thing. So that is definitely the theme, and I think you guys have nailed it there. The prompt sounds amazing.
Come.
All you need to do now is make them shoppable.
Okay, let's make them shoppable.
So make them shoppable.
What we need to do is build an API into the metadata.
Yeah.
And it is
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll figure it out, Morgan. I'm sure.
Oh, is that what that is?
So
Okay.
when I first met
now
Nick
I'm on notice with
Morgan-
Lou here. You told her.
I know when I met Nick Morgan, his actual
Oh.
nickname was the Innovator.
Yeah, here we go.
So
Oh, well, yeah,
let's
vertical,
do it.
vertical,
So the visionary.
vertical
The
video
visionary.
sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? You're going to build something for me?
You know what I'm going to do, Jess?
Yeah.
I'm going to look after you.
Okay.
Sorry, Lou. So listen, we're getting close to our time together.
Okay.
You've sat in a beautiful air-conditioned van. It's been a great
It's been an
chat.
absolute pleasure.
But you're sitting on the plane on the way home, and you've gone, Cannes was a successful week because...
Oh, God, it's always a success. Okay, for me, from my point of view, it's a successful week if you've had clients with you. And I don't know why more people don't bring clients to camp.
Couldn't agree more.
Mhm.
But I'm letting people in on my secret.
Mhm.
But, clients can't take hospitality anymore.
Yeah, no.
Right, but they
Oh,
can
yeah.
take they are allowed to go to an educational experience. So I think if they've had a good time
Yeah.
and they've learnt a lot, that helps
Yeah.
me. I love that.
And
I
there's
think
a lot
that's
to learn
fantastic.
here.
There's a hell of a lot to learn
Yeah.
here. The more sessions I can get to, the better. You've really got to nail your time in Cannes because it's all about going to sessions that really resonate, but also having meetings with suppliers as well,
Yeah.
plus also taking clients. So you've
Yep.
got to look after
It's
them.
important. Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So as long as my clients have had a really, really good time and enjoyed what they've seen and take home some great learnings, we take home some great learnings because we've been able to go to some really
Great
fantastic
sessions. You go back
Yeah.
inspired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Totally inspired.
Ready for another year?
Ready for another year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
Fantastic.
Jess, what about you?
I'm going to go on with the where you asked the question. Cannes was a success because I went with Lou Barrett and came on Commerce Media Matters.
Oh,
No.
Stop
Nice.
No,
Very good.
Cannes
Very nice.
was...
it. You should be in sales.
Firstly, you didn't ask me what session I was most looking forward to, but I'm going to tell you that I'm not interested in going to more sessions. I'm going to go tomorrow and actually just walk around and see the work
Yeah, cool.
to get some insights and
great.
see what's really resonating across
Yep.
the globe. But Cannes will be a success for me because it's given me clarity and confidence to go back home and push back, I think, on the strategy that we think is right, but probably needs to adapt and some ideation for where we could go for the future.
Well, can I
Very well
shout out
said.
on the prompt? It sounds like you have a very clear strategy.
You
It
can-
seems-
we'll be there.
Come.
100%. I mean, we've had, we would have finished 18 podcasts by the end of this.
Good on you.
And you've picked up on a number of key themes and concerns of people across the ecosystem. So I think you're onto
You've got your
something
finger on
huge
the
there.
pulse, no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah.
Ladies,
Thanks
thank you
for
for
having
joining
us.
Thank
us.
you so much for joining
We've
us.
enjoyed it.
Lou,
Yeah.
it's been amazing.
Thanks for the
Jess.
It's been a
Excellent.
buzz. It's
Yeah.
been a buzz.
So, welcome to Commerce Media Matters. We're live from the beautiful Corset. I know you've been in Hotel Martinez, and we had a beautiful lunch with the McKinsey team earlier.
you for
so
coming.
Thank you for
Stunning
having
lunch.
us.
Yeah.
It's great to get you on the podcast. So, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Awesome. I'm Anna Checa. I'm a partner at McKinsey. I've been in the firm now for 8 years. And I do all my work on what we call growth marketing and sales. So I spend a lot of time with consumer and retailers, helping them optimize their media spend. And then over the last few years, I've also been building a lot of the media networks that we have in the US. And lately, obviously, the trendy topic from this Cannes is like agentic, right? Like, so we are helping a lot of the organizations identify their media and in the commerce media, also like the sales capabilities so that it can actually be a lot faster and a lot more productive.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. I was going to say, AI agents is a hot thing, right? It was AI last year. Now agents have really kind of taken over the conversation here in Cannes this year. As AI agents start to become a new interface for discovery in comparison of transaction, what changes most fundamentally about the path from intent to transaction? What are you seeing there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating time for both marketers and also consumers. I think I'm enjoying it as a consumer very much as a marketer. And I think we're moving, right? Like from the moment where the agents were helping us, discover things towards the moment that agents are going to start making decisions for us. I still believe, though, I'm one of those believers that oversimplifying, we're going to have two types of journeys. That one journey where you will have the end-to-end of an agent, like managing the full experience. Think about the groceries, right? Like think about we do have Tuesday sushi every Tuesday, right? Like, so all these
or
things that
Taco
are
Tuesday.
exactly.
Yeah.
For me at home is sushi.
Yeah.
But think about like those type of events and situations that you repeatedly do. Obviously, every week your groceries change, but with the data of the input, like they will be able like to really predict what is it that
Yeah.
you want this
Yep.
week versus the previous one. So I think these type of day-to-day things that are repeatable situations will have agents like manage the end-to-end of that.
Where they can learn the
situation.
predictable model, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, think about buying a house, buying a car, fashion.
Yeah.
You don't
Big
want the agent.
consideration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You really need to make that final decision. However, you will use these agents to help you identify the top 3 houses, the top 3 cars, the top 3 bags, and then you will bring the human in the loop, as we always say at McKinsey, bring the human in the loop to be able to make the last decision on that part of the journey. So I think about these 2 ways,
Yeah.
day-to-day,
Yep.
things that are repeatable, data-driven. You can manage them with end-to-end agentified solutions. The ones that require still like some of the, discoverability and taste and so on, that are unique purchases, you still want the human in the loop.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How can I ask also, for McKinsey has incredible clients and is highly regarded. We love the work that you do. What we just talked about then, we've got the agents. What's the inbound kind of inquiry? What's the thoughts from the market, from McKinsey customers? Is there a lot of like, please help us? Have we got a handle on this? What's the appetite? What are you experiencing?
Totally. I think everyone is trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
right? So CEOs, CMOs, CIOs, they come to us with the question of, where do we start? Right? And the reality is that a lot of those teams have started to get like point-to-point solutions, right? Like they have, when I talk to the CMOs, let's say they have creative agents or creative Gen AI capabilities. You have copywriting, right? Some clients are starting to create briefs with some agents. But the biggest challenge that we're seeing when we talk to clients is that it's one-on-one, right? It's like a use case to a use case. What we really bring to the table when we talk to our clients is like, this is not about having one use case solved. You want to have the end-to-end of the workflow redefined. But like, so the winners for us are not going to be the ones that are going to be using agents for optimizing the old funnel. We want agents to really redesign the end-to-end of the workflow, from getting an idea to executing this idea, getting the measurement and getting the data back on the feedback loop, so that we can actually understand what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah, gotcha.
And for us, the biggest thing though, like when we work with, with the biggest organizations in the world, right? And brands, and they always work with agencies. So the biggest question that we get also from these brands is, how am I going to work with agencies, right? Because there's some clients that are building their agentic capabilities in-house. And agencies are also doing that, right? Like, so the integration between the workflows that you're building as a company with the workflows that agents in the agencies are actually building is going to be also key.
So you need the interoperability, right? Is that what you're advising your clients around?
Yeah, you need the connection between the different vendors and partners that you have.
Yeah.
And then having a unique platform or a unique capability that helps you connect through the same, right? Like, think about today. We have emails, we have the workflow management tools, we have a CDP that is like, everyone has access to multiple vendors.
Yeah.
Having an integration and ensuring that the vendors and the partners are all accessing to the same type of data and the same type of workflow, it's what is going to truly cut off the time and the speed for these type of companies.
We're hearing the theme around this is, last year it was agentic, and it was just a whisper. Now it's definitely
It's
agentic.
happening.
Yeah.
And we're hearing that everyone's getting the brilliant basics right, because now it's time to start trialing what they can do with agentic. So I guess in that vein, what do you see as the next phase? What do you think will separate customers that are going to win in the AI space and be the first movers? What do you think is going to make people stand out? What are you advising your clients?
Yeah.
Simple answer.
Yeah.
Operating model.
Right.
And we've
Okay.
talked about it now, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think going back to, what are people doing? They are getting point solutions. I want to do creative. I want to do copywriting. I want to do video. The really key and the winners are going to redesign the end-to-end of those workflow. And the challenge is that organizations need to think about it, like they need to take a step back, understand what are the existing steps of the process, and then understand what are the steps that are going to be done by humans and what are the steps that are going to be done by agents. And we always say that, look, it's going to be all about getting the strategy, getting the creativity from a human, and then all the manual work that, honestly, I was a marketer at Emirates before joining the firm. You hate doing all the manual
Call
work.
out to our friends at Emirates.
Yeah.
I had a great
You
flight
did have a
over
great-
here
you
on-
said
on
that.
Emirates.
Amazing.
It was
Amazing,
So
yep.
let's, call
You
out to
stop
our
in
friends.
Dubai, stop
Yeah, of
over.
course.
On the way
Dubai
back, are
was-
you guys going to stop by and enjoy the city?
We won't have time. It'll be
Yeah.
just a stop. It's a very long way from Sydney
It
to
is,
here.
yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
one of the longest ones, I remember.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really interesting. So what I did hear, though, is some good news for our listeners, that there is still human in the loop, and that's what you're advising. And there's still roles for humans in this agentic world.
Of
Can
course.
you
Yeah.
expand on that at all?
Absolutely. I mean, marketers, you guys are not disappearing. We're going to be here for a long time. It's all about how do you upskill your marketers
Yeah.
and your
Yep.
talent.
Yep.
So let's think. Today, there is a data scientist or a marketer that is spending 4 hours looking into Google, into Meta, into the CTV.
Research data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They look into this data and they spend hours and hours and hours trying to bring a report and the synthesis of the 3 top, impact or what is the ROAS, etc., to their CMO or to their director. Tomorrow, and I wouldn't say tomorrow, today, with this type of capabilities, they should have it in a click, right? So these folks need to retrain the way that they are operating. It's no longer about like crunching the data and getting into the result. It's more about identifying the insights and thinking about what is the next best idea for you guys like to further accelerate incrementality of your campaigns. So retraining, redefining the end-to-end of the operating model, and then ensuring that you bring also like new capabilities into the teams. Traditionally, we see marketing organizations where you have the product team that typically fall into the tech team or the CIO, etc., and then the marketing folks who are like the business owners, right? We want to bring these two worlds together, and that's specifically important because if you think about building agentic capabilities or redefining the end-to-end of these agentic capabilities within marketing, you need product people that really understand what the business folks in marketing need.
Yeah.
So
That's a very good point.
we
Yeah.
always say like I want product folks like sitting next to my business people so that they know exactly what is it that they need to build for.
We've had many sessions about that at Vudoo, haven't we? Yeah.
Glad that you guys are
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is
Product,
one
yeah.
question that we did ask everyone. If a successful can for you, if you're on the flight on the way home, what will make a successful can for you when you walk away from can?
For me is one, hearing from our clients and other brands that they are not scared of AI anymore.
Great.
Yep. Great.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good
Number
one.
2, I've heard a lot about creator economy within this can. They are almost the new creatives, the new agencies, right? So
Yeah.
how do
Well,
we...
It's interesting. It's a thing that we've picked up on too. So we've seen the creators move from, say, the TikTok booth or the backwater to the main beach. They're all it's creator.
They're front and
they're
center,
front
aren't
and
they?
center.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like these folks are now the creative directors of a lot of companies. Right?
Yeah.
Like they get a brief, they problem solve with the brands on how they're going to get the next move, what is going to be the video or the creative
They do
content
it
they will do.
authentically, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so they are kind of like the face of these new brands. And then thinking about like, how do you embed this strategy across your full media plan is going to be critical.
Yeah.
So I want my clients to start thinking about, okay, how am I integrating it and how am I making it part of my media mix rather than this is influencers.
Yeah.
This is just like an affiliate type of marketing with a long tail type of advertising. So for me, these are the two things. Ensuring that, folks are not scared of AI anymore. That's awesome news. Let's go and build it. Let's make it real.
Let's actually do it tangible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then secondly, let's ensure that we're bringing creators as part of your media plan.
And look, selfishly, we're hoping that those creators can create those occasions where people want to shop and that AI can also facilitate the transaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the agents will pick up this new, ideas from the creators. They will get the consumer the idea and then just go and buy it by themselves. So closing the loop.
Closing the loop. That's it. That's a great way to close.
Exactly.
Thank you, Anna, for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much,
Thank you,
Anna.
guys.
Really
Nice.
appreciate
It's
it.
good to have you. Nick Titmus, welcome to Commerce Media Matters. You're
Welcome
in the
to the
air
show, mate.
conditioning in the van.
Hey, nice and
We're up
cool.
and down the course set. Listen, you've been here. I heard that you had a bit of a false start at Luton on a runway, but you're here now. Has it been all go?
It's been all go.
Yeah.
It's been very hot, but it's been fantastic.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Loved it.
Great. That's what we like to hear.
Love it every year.
And you've done it several years. What is different this year?
Yes, I've done it for well over about 10 years.
Yeah,
I've done it
wow.
for ages.
Are you old enough to be here?
Oh, no, I've been doing it for ages. I know.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I've loved it. But I feel like this year, it's been very transactional.
Okay.
I feel like it's
that's
like...
a theme. That's a theme, actually. We're finding that. Yeah.
Transactable media. It's a theme too.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep going.
Exactly. Yeah,
Wacka,
like
wacka.
it. Yeah, I'm here all day. No, but the thing is, I think the good thing is it's like with my role now being sort of new into the commerce and the retail media world for what we do as a business.
Yes.
It's fantastic because it's another one where it's got so much buzz.
Mm-hmm. It has.
About
There's a lot
this,
of buzz.
and it was good last year.
Yep.
But this year,
Yep.
it's pretty much everywhere.
Yep.
And that's what I mean.
And that's
It's-
commerce media that we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
That's what
commerce
we-
media.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
everyone's want to do it. Like there's a huge buzz on the Amazon port where I spend a lot of my time, but also outside of that, we're having really good conversations with the agency groups, and they're all about commerce media and retail and how they're
Who
talking
wouldn't
to
want to
us.
prove the transaction in the media creative?
Yeah.
Who in the agency space, what you're finding this week, who's really kind of like up and about commerce and commerce media for you in your conversations? Is anyone really any standout you want to call out? And we're not saying negative, we're saying positive. Saying you can mention anybody, but who's really kind of like that? They really get it.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of conversations with Dentsu about
Interesting.
this, which is nice. But I think it comes into a lot of the conversations because I think there's two ways in which we can look at it. Right? Is my feeling of retail media and the sort of the buzz around there for a long time has been about the data. And I think when you think about traditional programmatic, that needs a little bit of a jazz, a little bit of a nice one, and that's data-driven marketing. But this is data that is addressable, it's countable, and it's measurable in that sense.
Absolutely.
So I think everyone's trying to understand it. They're trying to learn it, and obviously you've got the big pushes from the platforms, which are talking about that as well, and they're talking about their 10 data. So it comes up more in those everyday agency conversations. But then I think where it's interesting as well is that we're now discovering new sort of like independent agencies that, to be honest, I've never dealt with or never really come across before, and then their businesses have been around for ages.
Yeah,
like a Tenuity or a Stackline or Amazing, and these are like net new opportunities.
Fantastic
for us, which is great.
Yeah.
So I think everyone's has their different views on it, but there's lots of people out there.
Unreal.
Have you been to any good, insightful sessions? Have you had any time for sessions, or has it all been business development, all meetings?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the way that we do it. It's meetings, so we haven't had much time to actually go and listen to talks and
captured audience, right? You're going to make it happen. You can make it happen here.
Yeah, but I think that, like the one thing I love about Cannes is like how spontaneous it is, and it's not necessarily about the organised meeting.
Yeah.
But it's about the conversation that you might not have necessarily had before.
That's how it worked when we first met, from a
100%.
Vudoo and SeenThis perspective. That was a sort of a bit, more or less a chance encounter at Cannes, wasn't it?
Yeah. But that's what I mean. It's like I had a conversation today on the Amazon pool with one of our Amazon champions, even though based in the German market. And he was just talking to me about the Alexa release and display, and we suddenly went away from talking about how are you doing, like what is your traction like, and all things like this, to what if we put Alexa into a display ad, powered with video, powered with some intent, so that when that is streamed or delivered on an on-site and off-site property, what would that do for the experience? And I think like those conversations I love, because that's not something that we're going to go into. And I think we had that when we talked about transactional stuff.
100%. And, fast forward a can in a bit and we're at another can and we've got something up and running. I mean, but that's what it's about, right? The Festival of Creativity, being inspired, having those chance meetings, etc. When do you fly back?
I actually leave very early tomorrow morning.
Okay. So you're almost done and wrapped.
This is my last one.
Okay. This is your last one.
The best.
So save the best for last. Okay. So then what's the standout theme that you picked up? What's the standout thing? If you're going home now on the plane, I've asked a few people this. And you walk away from Cannes, it's successful, and you've grabbed something. What's the essence of that something?
So for me, it is going back to the roots of creativity, right?
Okay.
Because when I'm having a conversation with anyone about retail or commerce.
Yeah.
Like it's search, and then it's evolved from search into display, and it's all about data. Everyone's
It's
forgot
performance
about
and measurement, but it's
Yeah.
not what does the role that creativity plays in superpowering all that, right?
Exactly. And I feel like there's huge gaps in sort of the market where we talk about a full funnel, but really what we've done is we've gone straight to the top of the funnel with like a CTV activation, and then we're still running like native activations down below. And you kind of miss this consideration bucket where there is like really cool creative, like what we're doing together, and how can we actually push more up the funnel to help people discover things, shorten their path to purchase, be more discoverable. So for me, it's like it's that theme, which is people trying to solve the consideration element here, and again coming back to like, well, how can we innovate creatively, because that's not really talked about in the world of retail media and the networks and stuff like this.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and I think what the theme that we're getting a lot this week with a lot of our so far on Wednesday with all the interviews we've had, bringing basics really encapsulates creative too, right? It's like leaning into getting really, just because it is the format that it is and it's small, it's tight, you can still with the creative and being able to deliver something super engaging is all opportunity at the moment. And we're finding that with commerce media and retail media, and we're seeing a lot of really great examples of that. Can you talk about some of the examples? Have you seen anything this week from a creative? Obviously, the Vudoo creative is incredible, but what else are you seeing? Are you seeing anything else that's of interest to you from a creative perspective?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned earlier, I think that was a really interesting one where like the concept of what Amazon were doing with Alexa and what they're doing with the different displays, but then kind of building on that and kind of go, well, actually,
that kind of, where else does it go?
Because when I think about something like their platform, and a lot of what is on site is quite native and into that experience, it's like, oh, okay, well, actually, how can we, let's say, not necessarily interrupt the page, but how can we use that ad space, but in a way that's going to add value to you and give you the options and say, well, actually, Nick, you bought a yellow t-shirt before. I know you're browsing footballs, for example, but here's something that might be of interest to you, and it will encapsulate you, and then maybe being able to interact with the ads to do it through there, I think is really key. So I think stuff like that is really interesting, and I think it will only evolve. Other things that I've spoken about is the concept of sort of like live streaming and live shopping.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay,
create a moment.
Create a moment, like build on the culture. Like there's a lot of like brands nowadays want to bring the lifestyle into it. They want to show how a normal person is either using the product or engaging. So it's I think there's parts there where it's like, okay, so how do we bring that in? And how do we take what's happening in the social environment but make that a little bit more accessible as well, and add transactional elements into it? Because like I love the stuff that you guys do, because I think that is cool. It's like, right, if we can show them how this works, but make it really easy for them to just do, let's say, one click, bang, in your basket or bought. I think that's cool.
I agree. I think what we're seeing is that the big shift this week is really moving towards closing the loop on that shopping experience. And we've had some pretty interesting conversations with the companies that are going to move hard into providing the transaction as well, as you spoke to. Do you agree, Paul? There's some really interesting conversations happening there.
With your chats with retailers, and obviously SeenThis being so good at delivering video, a very efficient way, there is a lot of listings, a lot of boringness, I'd say, you could say. How are you working with the retailers to sort of unlock video opportunities and more rich format opportunities?
Yeah, so I find this quite fascinating because for those that...
Lots of static images still in the retail media space.
Yeah, and for listeners and stuff that don't really know what our technology is all about, it's like, well, we stream the digital ads. So think of us as like what Netflix and Spotify did for the world of entertainment, we just do for delivering the ad content.
Yeah.
Now, one of the beauty things of that is that we don't need any on-page integration. We're streaming a video player to the ad space.
Yes.
Now, even if you look at traditional media, whether it's a Guardian or anyone like this, they don't want ads being the heaviest thing on their page, slowing down their page load speed, and creating bounce.
And neither would a retailer, right?
And for years that we've been around since 2017, so we've been doing it for a long time. But on that side, now fast forward into the world of like, okay, the retailers now are acting more like those media owners. this is the technology, right? Because you can't have ads slowing down a page. Which
Absolutely
is why
not.
they
That's
have
a big
been
opportunity
static.
for you guys.
Or just video, even if it's content.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think, if retail media are looking for those incremental dollars from the marketing budgets and not so much the trade budgets extending into different spots, the marketer is demanding video, right? They want those more rich formats.
Yeah, and brands want to do it as well, because when you combine it with the data and the smarts that the platforms actually have, it makes it really appealing. So what we're seeing now is that for those retailers, it's a really interesting opportunity, because they don't need to change their real estate. They don't need to restructure their page, but they can put a 10x on what they're doing, because they can turn that hero placement that they have on their homepage, they can turn it into a video. So even outside of our connections with the big platforms, we are doing this with retailers, where actually they take the technology in-house and then they've created their own format. So they've created their own sort of like sponsored ads powered by this technology. And I think that's an easier way as well, when you've got to speak to, let's say, your traditional retailer and shopper who's like doesn't necessarily know about how the digital industry works, but is really conscious about the actual website and the UX experience. It's a nice way to say, well, don't compromise on creativity.
Exactly. We're not going to degrade it.
No.
And then by virtue of doing it that way, they're interoperable with the ad ecosystem. They're interoperable with third party and other opportunities, right?
Yeah. And then it opens up the whole world, right, where you can then just take that offsite. And I think that's the beauty of it, right? Because it then bridges into that world where the ads are not just necessarily limited to the search feeds and everything. Where, let's be honest, if you might already be in that moment, you've already made your decision that you're going to purchase that one. But with the fact that you can then say, right, we can extend these formats, extend the creativity out, and use those as lead-ins. And lead outs around big tentpole events, that becomes really cool. I think for not only the brands, but also the retailers as well, when they think about, okay, how do we package this up, and how can we package this up around a key event?
Awesome. Nick, we're almost out of time. Is there anything like, I think this is all questions, but do you want me to ask?
Go for it.
Steal your thunder. So, you're sitting on the plane. We've asked everyone this. It's the end of Cannes. You're really stoked. You're happy because you've come away with something super important. What is that?
For me, it's the buzz around it. Certainly with commerce. Yeah. Certainly with retail. I think it's a thing that's only going to explode further. It's totally here to stay. And I love it because I think it's like community. It reminds me of mobile. Remember back in the day where everyone knew everyone, and it was kind of like the innovation is there. And I think that's the cool thing. There's no ceiling to this. It's only going to get smarter. And it's only going to get more creative.
Fantastic.
So
awesome.
It's great.
Awesome,
Nick Titmus, thanks so much for your time.
For coming on the show.
Thank
Appreciate
you for being
it.
here.
I loved it.
Awesome.
How good.
Thanks, mate. What a week.
We've had conversations spanning AI, retail media, measurement, publishing, strategy, creativity, infrastructure, and commerce. We've done it all. And the one thing is clear, the industry is not standing still.
Nope. What a week. Big shout out to everyone that brought this together. Rachel, Sandy, Louisa, Oliver, Andreas, and a big, big shout out and thank you to Easy Studios. This couldn't have been easier. Thanks to every guest who joined us, and thanks to you for listening.
We'll see you on the next season of Commerce Media Matters.
Until next time, au revoir.
Thank you for listening to the Commerce Media Matters podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow and subscribe. We're always on the pulse of the ever-changing landscape of commerce media, ready to share the newest trends, insightful perspectives, and expert opinions with you. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep making media that matters. This podcast is executively produced and edited by Priya Tahazadeh, with co-producers Sandy Ho and me, Rachel Fang. This podcast is recorded on the lands of the Bidjigal, Gadigal, and Wurundjeri people, and we wish to acknowledge them as the traditional owners of the land.